In the previous video, I left a Sudoku unsolved and I said this. And well, from here, the Sudoku can keep being solved, can keep being solved, can keep being solved. But I lied. With none of the techniques that I have taught you so far, can that Sudoku be completely solved, and several of you realized it. But don't worry, I am going to teach you a technique that is going to help you solve harder and harder Sudokus. So if you are stuck on a Sudoku, this technique can help you finish solving it. And that technique is called naked triple. So alright, let's begin. I am going to explain with this Sudoku how to apply the naked triple technique and what this technique means. But first, let's fill the naked singles that we have here to place some numbers inside this Sudoku. We can place this 9, this 8, and so on. Alright, from this position, we could keep solving this Sudoku with the techniques from the previous videos, naked pairs, pointing, hidden singles, and so on, but I want to take advantage of this position to explain to you what naked triples are and when they appear. We say that there are naked triples when we find 3 cells inside the same house that contain no more than the same 3 candidates. Not every cell necessarily has to have 3 candidates. In fact, each cell can have 2 or 3 candidates as long as the 3 combined cells only have 3 numbers. So let's look at an example of a naked triple in this Sudoku. Here we have a cell that has the candidates 1, 7, and 8. Here too, we have the candidates 1, 7, and 8. And here we have the candidates 7 and 8. These 3 cells belong to the same house, which in this case could be the same box or also the same column. In either case, these 3 cells, even though not all 3 of them have 3 candidates, if we combine them, would only have the candidates 1, 7, and 8. This is a naked triple. And what is it useful for? Well, you can eliminate those candidates from the other cells that contain those 3 numbers. That is, inside this box, I can erase every candidate 1, every candidate 7, and every candidate 8 that I see because they are already reserved for these 3. Since they also belong to the same column, I could also erase these 7 from down here. Now I am going to explain why. Let me go back, I am going to put back all these pencil marks, and we are going to see the explanation of why this can be done. Explanation time. In order for you to understand it in the simplest way, let's imagine the 3 possible cases that can happen in this cell, for example. Here we have the 1, the 7, and the 8 as candidates. Let's imagine what happens if we place the number 1. Notice that in the cell below, the candidate 1 is going to be erased, and only the 7 and the 8 are going to be left. And this leaves us with another cell that also has the 7 and the 8 in the same house. And we already learned from the previous video that when we have a pair like this, we can erase all the 7s and all the 8s from the houses to which that pair belongs. So we are left with a 5 and a 6 on the right, a 5, 6, and 9 on the left, and a 5, 6, and 9 on the lower side. Now let's imagine that we're not going to place the number 1. Now let's imagine that the number that goes here is the number 7, which is another possibility. If the 7 goes there, notice that below we're left with a naked single, which is the number 8. And here we're left with the only remaining possibility, the number 1. We're again left with the 5 and 6 on the right, the 5, 6, and 9 on the left, and the 5, 6, and 9 on the lower left side. Now let's look at what happens if instead of the 7 we place an 8. If we place an 8, then below we are left only with the number 7 to place, and here the number 1. In any case, it ended up the same again. And what does that tell us? It tells us that we don't know whether this cell is going to be the 1, the 7, or the 8. We also don't know whether this one is going to be the 1, the 7, or the 8, and we also don't know whether this one is going to be the 7 or the 8. What we do know is that in any case, when these 3 cells are complete, the number 7 is not going to be able to go here, so we can erase it. The 1 and the 7 are not going to be able to go here, so we can erase them. And the 7 is not going to be able to go here either. That is, we erase all the pencil marks that contain 1, 7, or 8 in the other cells of this same house. And since this is a column, we can also erase the 7 from down here. Let's find more so that you can practice. Here we have a 2, 6, and 8. 2, 6, and 8, and 2 and a 6. These 3 combined cells only have the candidates 2, 6, and 8, and they belong to the same house, which is this box. Because of this, if there is another cell with candidates 2, 6, and 8 in this house, we can erase them, which in this case would be this cell. I can remove the 2 and the 6 with no problem at all. Another slightly different example of a naked triple is the one that we have in this box on the right, where we have a 7 and 6, a 7, 2 and 6, and a 2 and 6. In this case, only one of the 3 cells has 3 candidates. This one has 2 and this one has 2, but the 3 combined cells have only the candidates 2, 6, and 7. This means that in this box, which is the section that the 3 cells share, I can eliminate the candidates 2, 6, and 7. Here there aren't any of these, but here there is the number 6, which I can remove. We are left with the 1 going here, the 4 goes here, and we can complete these 3 here. And now I am going to give you a challenge. There is a naked triple in this Sudoku in which none of the cells has 3 candidates. Each of the 3 cells has only 2 candidates, and even so, it is still a naked triple. Pause the video and try to find it. If not, I'll give you the answer in 2 seconds. Alright, that naked triple is the one we have up here. As you can see, we have a 5 and 9, an 8 and 9, and a 5 and 8. If we combine these 3 cells, the triple would be the candidate 5, 8, and 9. And what does that mean? That in this row, which is the house that this naked triple shares, I can eliminate every 5, 8, and 9 that I find as candidates. Here, for example, I eliminated 3, and now, since these 3 also belong to this box, I can remove the 5 and the 8 from here, and the 5 and the 9 from here. Notice that it leaves me with some naked singles, and I can keep solving this Sudoku. Here, for example, we have a hidden single, which is the 4, let's place it, and here we have the hidden single 2. But to keep going with this Sudoku, you have to find the next naked triple, because otherwise it cannot keep being solved. Let me erase this one that we had already found here, and I am going to show you the naked triple that is going to help us solve the rest of the Sudoku. It is here. It is this 5 and 6, 5, 6 and 9, and 5 and 9. This triple belongs to this row, and in this row I can eliminate every 5, 6, and 9 that I see as candidates. This leaves us this 8, this 7, this 9, and by applying the naked single techniques, we can finish a Sudoku that was a little hard to solve. And by the way, this and all the basic techniques are in Master Sudoku, together with Practice Sudokus, Sudokus for you to play freely, and all the explanations. And all of this to go back to our Sudoku from the previous video. In this position that the Sudoku is in, it is impossible to continue unless the naked triple technique is used. Pause the video, try to solve it, and if not, I leave the answer for you here. It turns out that there was a naked triple here. Two, 3, and 6 in the same row. Eliminating these 3 here and these 6 here, we get a naked single, which is a 4, this 3, and from here, that Sudoku could be solved. That is why this strategy is so interesting. It helps us eliminate a lot of candidates, and I hope you use it a lot from now on.